Welcome back to It's All About Spice. I'm Hina, and today I'm cooking with one of my most favorite ingredients. Do you want to take a guess? I'm making baigan or eggplant. Baigan is one of those ingredients that I can eat every day of the week, 7 days a week. Well, maybe not every day, almost every day. I have found that baigan is one of those things that people either love it or they hate it. But I can tell you that after trying this recipe, you're going to love baigan and you're gonna love this recipe. So if you give this recipe a try, and if you like it or don't like it, tell me in the comments section. And if you love watching me cook, then don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. There's so many different ways of making baigan. You can just roast it and make baigan ka bharta out of it. You can make baigan with just onions and tomatoes, like a light sabzi. But what I'm making today, it's a very special and delicious curry of baigan and peanuts. So this is called Baghare Baigan. And this recipe is pure veg, and it doesn't have any meat in it, but the baigan or the eggplant brings that meatiness to it, and it is packed with so much flavor. It's delicious. So let's get cooking. Let's start with our preparation. I'm using 5 small size baigan for this recipe. To start with, I'll make 2 deep slits to each baigan. I'll make 1 slit horizontally and then 1 vertically. Just be careful not to cut through the entire length of the baigan because we don't want to cut the eggplants into little pieces. This technique will hold the baigan together nicely when we deep fry it. It won't fall apart in the curry, and the seasonings can get all the way into the baigan. So let's just repeat these steps for all of the baigan. Next step, we're going to fry our baigan. So for that, let's take a pot and we're gonna add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil is hot, we're gonna add our baigan. We'll cover the pot with the lid and let the eggplants cook till they are nice and soft, about 10 to 12 minutes. Try to flip the eggplants in between as you're cooking them, just to make sure that they can cook evenly on all the sides. So what you're looking for is really a charred look on the outside, but they should be soft on the inside. So our eggplants look like they're done, so we're gonna take them out of the pot and let them rest. I'm going to work on my base for our curry. So we'll start with the onions. I have about a large onion that I'm gonna chop really fine. Next up, to the same pot that we used to fry our baigan, we're just gonna add onion and some cumin seeds. And let this cook until the onions are light and golden. Alright, so let's take a look. So it looks like our onions golden. It's cooked all the way through. So to the onions, I'm going to add my special ingredient, which is peanuts. So we're going to add some peanuts in here and just cook them gently with the onions for just about 2 to 3 minutes. What you're really looking for is just that little bit of that roasted flavor to the peanuts before we take it to the grinder, and then we're going to grind it into a fine paste. So let's scoop the onion and the peanuts out of the pot. And it's okay to leave some onions in here. You don't have to scoop the whole thing, but just make sure that you get all the peanuts because we're going to turn this into a fine paste. So, you know, when you're eating this curry, you don't have like big chunks of peanuts. Alright, so we're going to add our onion and peanut mixture to a grinder, and we're going to grind this into a really fine paste. Just feel free to add about a tablespoon or 2 of water if you need to loosen up that mixture if it's too dense. So I've got some fresh garlic and ginger that I'm going to mince and we'll add it to the dish. I think fresh ginger and garlic really adds that nice depth of flavor and beautiful aroma as well when you cook it. But if you don't have time, then you can also use store-bought ginger and garlic paste as well. That's fine. I've got some green chilies that I'm going to roughly chop and add it to the dish. I think this is going to bring that nice heat to the Baghare Baigan. Alright, so back to our pot. If you remember from the last step when I scooped out the onion and the peanuts from the pot, I did leave some onions in here, so that's really what you see. And then we're gonna add our freshly minced ginger and garlic and the green chilies in here. I'm adding some black mustard seeds to it as well. And then we're gonna give it a nice stir and then let this cook for just about 2 to 3 minutes. Anytime you have ginger and garlic in a pot, you just wanna make sure that you keep stirring it enough so you don't burn the mixture. All right, so it's time for us to add our onion and peanut paste in here. Let's give this mixture a nice stir so that we can have our peanuts, green chilies, everything can mix out well. Just look at that beautiful color. All right, so it's time to add our spices. We're gonna start with some cumin powder. Some turmeric powder. Add red chili powder. I'm actually adding quite a lot of red chili powder, but depending on how spicy you want this to be, you can add more or less of red chili powder. I'm gonna add some coriander powder. And then last step, we're gonna add some garam masala. Just a little bit of garam masala goes a very long way. Okay, so let's mix this all together. You want to make sure that you give this a really nice stir so all the spices can mix really well. And then we're going to add some water. A little bit of water so that our peanut paste along with all the spices doesn't burn. So let's cover the lid and we'll let this cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, so we're ready. And you can see that the oil has started to separate from the onion peanut mixture, so now is a good time to move forward. Next, I'm adding some tamarind juice. So I've soaked some tamarind in warm water and I've extracted the tamarind water. I think this adds a really good tangy flavor, nice bright color to the curry as well. So I really love tamarind. Okay, so we're gonna mix this really well. Let's add some water. And depending on how loose or thick you want the curry to be, you can adjust the water level. I like it somewhere in between. Okay, so now is the time for us to add our eggplants. So I'm gonna take each eggplant one by one and then slowly add them to the curry. You wanna be very gentle and delicate with these eggplants because they're just so soft. You don't want them to break or fall apart in your curry. Okay, so we're gonna cover the lid and let this cook for about another 5 minutes. So while that's cooking, we're gonna go to the final ingredient of this recipe, which is coriander. So I've got some finely chopped coriander or cilantro leaves that I'm gonna add to our curry. So here we go. Wow, that looks beautiful. So we're gonna mix this into our curry. And again, you wanna be really nice and gentle just to make sure that, you don't break the eggplants. Okay, so it's time to serve our Baghare Baigan. All right, look at the beautiful color. You'll notice that we didn't add any tomatoes to this dish, but it still has that nice, beautiful red color, which comes from the tamarind, the peanuts, and the eggplants look so wonderful in there. This is absolutely delicious. So let's try it. Okay, so our Baghare Baigan is ready and I'm trying it with roti. It works perfectly with steamed white rice too if you want to have that. So let's try this out. It looks beautiful. All right. So good. I can taste the peanuts. I can taste the tanginess from the tamarind water that we put in here. And let me try the baigan. Baigan are cooked perfectly. If you look at it, oops, look, that came off. Baigan's cooked perfectly. It's so moist and easy to eat. Just melts in your mouth. Is that good? Oh my God, I can't stop eating it. This is awesome. Very, very delicious. Definitely give this a try. I hope you like it. If you like this dish, put a comment, subscribe to my channel, and keep the love coming.